I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ione.
Present.
Couch.
Here.
Espinoza.
Here.
Gorman. Hawkins.
Here.
Morse.
Here.
Knorr.
Here.
Parlier.
Here.
Reyes.
Here.
Yes, Reyna.
Here.
Bob Smith.
I'm here.
Phil Smith.
Here.
Solario Ruiz.
Here.
Warney. He's not here. Para.
I am here.
Navarro.
Here.
And Carr.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And before I go to the public comments, we want to welcome Michael Navarro, who is now the District 6 Director, and we're happy to have him here. And that's why we had dinner tonight, and he's enjoying it. So there you go. Thank you.
I
Thank
called
you.
his name.
He's wearing a new suit too.
Congratulations. We look forward to working with you even more. Public comments. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the committee on any matter not on this agenda but under the jurisdiction of the committee. Committee members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff for factual information, or request staff to report back to the committee at a later meeting. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record prior to making a presentation. Do we have any public comments? Seeing none, we'll go to consent agenda opportunity for public comment. Are there any public comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none, does any member wish to remove an item for separate consideration?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ione.
Aye.
Carr.
Aye.
Couch.
Yes.
Espinoza.
Here.
Hawkins.
Yes.
Morse.
Yes.
Knorr.
Yes.
Parlier.
Yes.
Para.
Yes.
Reyna.
Yes.
Bob Smith.
Yes.
Phil Smith.
Yes.
Solario Ruiz.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. And so we'll move to Caltrans report. We'll hear from Catherine Carr, District 9.
All right. Good evening. We'll start with the PIO announcement, the Public Information Officer announcement. District 9 is working with the CHP and the Office of Traffic Safety to put together a social media campaign for bike and crosswalk safety. The project is still taking shape, but we hope to have something by the end of this month to present. Let's see, projects, Keene Paving. As you know, on January 31st, District 9 Director and members for the project delivery team and the project information officer met with Senator Grove and a representative from Senator Fong's office, Supervisor Parlier, Councilman Smith, Aaron Hakimi, and Jay Slosser from the City of Tehachapi. A project overview was presented and traffic management and staging were discussed. District 9 PIO is working with the City of Tehachapi to create a slideshow video on the Keene Pavement Project to give residents an overview of what the project is, where it stands, and what's coming next. This video is expected to be released in the next 2 weeks. So they're very busy, our PIOs right now. Communication with local agencies and the public will continue as we get closer to construction. Brian Westling, Director 9's Deputy Director of Engineering, that answers your question, Aaron, will provide a presentation at the May meeting. So, all right. Cache Creek Keene Scales project completed construction early February. It was to replace message signs both at the Keene truck scale and the Cache Creek truck scale, replace the guardrail at the Keene location, a maintenance pullout area will be paved at the Keene location, and new conduit, wiring, and pull boxes will be placed at both locations. Tehachapi Maintenance Station, the construction continues and is anticipated to be completed this spring. Freeman Erosion Repairs Project. This project will be conducted within the original footprint of the Freeman 1 4-lane project. This project intends to repair dirt shoulders and side slopes, repair erosion gullies on the steep fill slopes, the repair and install rock line ditches and rock energy dissipators for drainage, repair damaged right-of-way fence, and replace the dikes and rock line ditches, side drains at strategic locations to prevent further slope erosion and provide climate resiliency. There will be some work on drainage systems outside the right-of-way fence located within existing drainage easements. Construction will start later this spring and is anticipated being completed by July 2025, so this summer. Mojave Pavement is in design. The project is located just north of Silver Queen Road to half a mile north of North Junction Business of 59 West. This project will rehabilitate the pavement and upgrade ADA facilities. The project is anticipated to ready to list November 2026, so later this year, with construction starting next year, or 2 years actually, 2027, sorry. The 58 Summit Interchange co-op has been executed with the City of Tehachapi to develop a project study report, project development support document, otherwise known as a PSR PDS, and to examine improvements to the 58 Tehachapi Boulevard interchange near Tehachapi. And Jay, wherever you are, I'm sure this is, you're very happy that the co-op has been executed. The PSR PDS is tasked with identifying a preferred alternative for the project. The study will analyze various interchange design alternatives and their impacts on the signalized intersections. And the PSR is anticipated to be completed for the end of the fiscal year. Last one's Kern County Lighting Replacements Project. This is for 58 and also 395 in Kern County. Work is paused until March when light standards are anticipated to be delivered. And finally, the 23-24 Pedestrian Safety Improvements Project in Ridgecrest. Crews continue to modify traffic signals and lighting systems between Norma Street and Richmond Road on SR 178. And there might be some overnight work and intermittent lane closures. And that is it. Is there any questions?
Any questions? Yes.
I just have a comment to make along the lines of your very first comment regarding the video that y'all are going to do. Golden Empire Transit Bike Bakersfield, Blue Zones, the city traffic and county planning are going to do something similar. We're getting the script ready right now to do, we have access to a drone to shoot some video and to do videos on how motorists and cyclists need to operate in the new green bike lanes.
Okay.
So we're gonna do like a 30-second video of, with a QR code to say, go to this QR code. It will take you to like a 2-3 minute video showing exactly how you're supposed to, how you're supposed to act in those areas. So that I'm anxious to see what you all do in the crosswalks also. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You need to, in the roundabout crosswalks also, that's another place where there's conflict, where they're not really understanding how they're supposed to maneuver through those. So thank you for
You're welcome.
Caltrans for doing that.
If you'd like, you could reach out to our PIOs. I'm sure they like to talk to you about that.
Any other questions? District 9.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith.
Just another thanks for that meeting that was set up with Senator Grove and the other players for the pavement project and the climbing lanes. It really made a lot of sense. We had certain concerns about one lane traffic during construction, but it's just the way the pavement's going to be so separated that it made a lot of sense and have it explained to us like that. So we appreciate the interchange on it.
I'll make sure that I
information.
bring the message, your compliments back. I mean,
Yes.
it means a lot.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Supervisor Parlier.
Thank you, Chair. So the area is running through my district and the greater Bakersfield area. When you have a tan wall or a gray wall, sometimes, well, I should say sometimes, normally when graffiti is painted over, if there was just one color gray and one color tan, it seems like there's 4 or 5 different shades of each. And, with Caltrans being such a huge organization, I don't know why you couldn't have Caltrans, tan number 1 and gray number 2. Is that a possibility?
I will definitely bring your question back to the district. Is there a specific area that this is happening in?
Throughout the city along the 99 corridor, and I have a picture I can show you later,
It's
too.
in District 6. Okay, so you're referring to District 6?
Yeah,
or-
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, it makes way too much sense for me to do that. I mean, it sounds like, but no,
Yeah.
I'll talk to our maintenance ops folks and see, because it is, you patch it up, but it still is an eyesore theoretically,
Yeah.
right? So,
And if you have a tan wall, common sense would say maybe paint it tan, and a gray wall, paint it gray. So
great
whatever you
comment.
could do would be highly appreciated.
Well, great comment.
Thank you.
Any others for District 9? Okay, we'll move to Director Navarro, District 6.
Has a decent ring to it. Thank you, Chair. Appreciate that. Give a couple updates on the 4 Clean California projects that we recently completed and work still in progress. So Kern Regional Transit Bus Shelter Project, that's been completed. So they installed new bus shelters in Taft and Lake Isabella. The Stay Route 204 Road Diet Project, so construction is ongoing. We expect to have completion done this spring, as well as the artwork, weather permitting, of course. Looking forward to that ribbon cutting. Project's been long overdue. McFarland Delano projects ongoing with art installations. Unfortunately, there was some damage to the artwork on the benches. Apparently, the community is very excited to sit on them, and they're left unprotected. So we're currently negotiating with the contractor, getting those replaced, repaired. And then the Arvin Clean California project with the irrigation and landscaping, that project is complete as well. State Route 46, 43 intersection improvements. This is the roundabout project in the design phase. I spoke incorrectly with a much more optimistic start time for construction last month, so I'm going to correct myself. Right now, we're looking at some utility relocation work starting this summer. Hopefully, project construction will be awarded this fall. We're still working out some issues with utility and railroad. So theoretically, most likely you'll see construction taking place early 2026. I know our team, we talked last month, I know Director Kiwi recommended us doing a presentation at your city council, so we have reached out to your staff. We kind of agreed that we're working through the railroad issues. we're gonna resolve those, so we have a better, we give you a more accurate time frame on projects. So we'll probably be, hopefully in the next month or two, we'll be able to come out there and do a city council presentation. In Delano, Stair at 155, we have a rehab project, so we're rehabbing the pavement, paving shoulders, curb and gutter work, class 2 bike lanes, et cetera. Doing some coordination with the railroad as well, where we'll add a cantilever structure, lighting and sidewalk work to meet the UP Railroad requirements. We're coordinating this with the city's intersection improvements at 155 in Lexington. We expect that project to be ready to list this summer and most likely advertised fall of this year. The State Route 43 7th Standard Roundabout project. So we've been on geometric approval. Design review meeting was held January 29th. Team is working on achieving 30% design. We anticipate that project being ready to list in December, so end of this year. The State Route 43 Santa Fe Roundabout, still in the design phase. We anticipate having design complete in August of this year. There is some requirements for permitting through Federal Lands Bureau recommendation, so we expect a delayed start of construction until March of 2026. Kern 58 east of Bakersfield, Mr. Smith's favorite project out there, 58. That project was complete on January 17th, so now we're working on doing the work that was not done with that project. So that project's a little farther out, so that project's expected to be ready to list in October of 2027. We just had the environmental kickoff meeting. We're about 30% through environmental now. The California Aqueduct project, this is the State Route 166 Bridge Rehabilitation Project. That project was awarded to Granite Construction. There will be a delayed start as the contractor gets permits from DWR. So target start date construction will be this summer, looking at July and August, and then wrapping up the following summer. We also have a rehab project on State Route 99 called the Bakersfield Rehab 2. This has a rated list date for fiscal year 26-27, where we'll be rehabbing travel lanes with concrete reinforced pavement through Bakersfield from White Lane to California Avenue. We're also including a southbound aux lane from Palm Street Bridge and California Avenue Bridge widening. Projects is in design. We're working towards having 30% design completed by February. In Maricopa, the rehab project, the project is constructed and all road closures have been complete. We anticipate having that project buttoned up by March of this year. On State Route 119, Pumpkin Center from Ash Road to State Route 99, we have a project that's to restore the pavement to a state of good repair. And this project currently is in design phase. We expect that project to be ready to list this summer in June. On State Route 184, the Morning Drive Rehab Project. This project is almost complete. Project currently in winter suspension. Pending work includes addressing some of the drainage issues at Chase Avenue and some punch list issues. But once we get out of winter suspension, we expect to have that project complete by May of this year. We have another project on 184. This is Weed Patch Highway, so the segment south of there. A similar project where we're looking at doing refreshing the pavement, doing continuous bike lanes, bus stop, curb ramp, other complete streets element. This project has a target of advertising for this spring and March, and with the construction starting this summer. In Arvin on State Route 223, do another pavement project where we're looking at doing rehabilitating the pavement, drainage system, replacing sign panels, complete streets elements, and installing a pedestrian signal, a hawk signal at 223 in Walnut, as well as some flashing beacons and bulb outs throughout the corridor. That project had its 95% constructability review last January, and that project should be ready to list this summer and advertised in the fall. Another project, although it's in District 5, I know many of you drive State Route 46 to the Central Coast. I drive from Fresno on 41. The interchange, the junction work at 41 and 46 is ongoing. Last I heard, it was probably going to be the end of this year in December for that's completed. But also, we discussed earlier talking about that 2-lane gap that's near Antelope grade. So that project is being led by District 5, our neighbors to the south, and so that project has been awarded, so they're expecting that to go to construction in spring when the temperatures warm up. Just a side note. And then lastly, just my sincere thank you. The last 5 years in my planning role being to come here and interact with you at this board level. It's been truly a career highlight for me. Made a lot of nice connections here. So So, and just as you supported me over the last 5 years, I look forward to supporting you all in my new capacity. So I don't plan to be a stranger. I plan to have much more interaction with all of you, hopefully. So I want to thank you all for the support over the years. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I had a couple questions. I had asked about the music at the Garza Circle, and you were going to kind of follow up on that and see if there were.
Yeah, I was in Sacramento last week, and I've asked every person in Caltrans that does the permitting, and no one has any knowledge of that location. If you have location, I'd be happy to look at it, but in talking internally, I mean, without worrying about what they've done in the past, it's something we could do under a permit, but it'd probably be something led by the city and go through like an encroachment permit process to do it. So we're not opposed to it. I just haven't been able to find the example that you referenced, unfortunately, District 3. I've asked the director when I was there.
Yeah, it's I-5 when you're walking into Old Town. I-5 when
The
you're.
tunnel from
Yeah.
like J Street underneath into Old Town.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there this week, so I'm gonna go look at it.
Yeah.
And then now that I have a precise location, I will see the district three staff move them up there, so I'll ask them to try to figure out how that works.
Okay.
Installed.
Appreciate it.
Perfect.
And then 119, that starts construction? Was that what, I kind of missed?
Yeah, 119 is going to construction. We plan on having that project ready to list this June, and then we'll go into advertisement and award hopefully in the fall, and then, you know, weather goes construction following that. So probably end of this year be awarded, depending on weather and. might be
Okay,
spring.
great. And I may have mentioned it last time, but I've ridden Union Avenue a few times now, and it feels really good, and appreciate that. It's a great project, and I've gotten some positive feedback on it. And,
Another great partnership project.
yeah.
Some of Miss Clean California can create opportunities for projects like
Yeah.
that.
I was actually rode Rosedale Highway today with the old 5-foot bike lane, and feels very bad compared to.
Well, I want to talk about
pretty
that.
tight.
I mean, we do that offline. I know Aaron and I have spoke. If there's any opportunities, I've been talking about maintenance folks. I've asked if we could do the bike lane work ourselves. Maybe collaborate with the city on the trail portion for that. I think that's probably something we should set.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The way we do that jointly, because I think I got our maintenance folks. I think I've had them on board now, but not yet.
Okay, would appreciate that, yeah. Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Navarro?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Great.
Michael, you mentioned the 4643 roundabout. I think that's in Wasco. If not, it might be right outside, or it is in Wasco. So I believe that project has a federal grant that was received by High Speed Rail as part of its funding. And given Secretary Duffy's remarks today, can you get back to us next month on whether that's going to have any effect on that project? Thank you.
Chair, I do have a question.
Yes.
Well, first I want to.
Can you turn your mic on?
Yes, I can. I want to say thank you. The 166 project for the flooding has already shown, we haven't had any closure, so that's a wonderful thing. But outside of the scope of that, the sidewalks that are in the city of Maricopa, they don't make a whole lot of sense. If we could revisit those at some point.
You say the sidewalks don't make sense.
On Highway 166 and 33, an example is on one side of the highway, it goes from a school. On the other side, it's a shoulder that drops off into a 10-foot ditch.
Okay.
So the planning is just a little off.
Sidewalk gaps or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know we did I forgot the scope, but we did what we called a bid for that project initiation document. And we were gonna go after ACP funds. I think last time we weren't successful. But I think once we've identified all the sidewalk gaps and look for the complete regeneration part of that application. Oh, sorry. Thank you. So I know we worked on a project initiation document that looked at sidewalk gaps, different crosswalk mechanisms, et cetera. So let me look into that and see. 'Cause I think, like I said, I think we try to address all the gaps and vacancies in the sidewalk that you're referencing.
Supervisor Barley.
Sorry, Michael, this isn't a cool road project, but there's a homeless camp in the Caltrans right-of-way, the 99 at the southbound ramp at Panama.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, and just so you know, if you have those, let me know, or let my maintenance team know. Probably the quickest way to do some of these, we have a website, csr.ca.gov.
Yeah.
And that way we track them all, but I know daily I'm getting updates on all the different encampment removals, so we are making that a priority.
Well, when I was
so-
in city council, I had somebody who just do the Caltrans tickets for me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay. No,
but,
yeah, no, I'm happy, I'll take care of it when I get back to the office
Okay.
and let them know. I usually have to shoot an email from these meetings so they know.
Perfect.
But if we're ever not at a meeting and you want to access that, that's.
well,
an
I tell you what, when we're
opportunity.
done.
Or give me a
just
call, let me know.
Get your
as well.
contact info and we'll go from there.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
awesome, thanks.
You said what ramp it was, it's 99 Panama, southbound?
Panama, it's the southbound ramp.
Off ramp, on ramp?
Right, it's right next to Green Lawn,
Okay,
but Caltrans right away.
gotcha.
Anybody else? Executive Director's Report.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. I have several items on this agenda. On February 3rd, held a very productive meeting, about in-person meeting at California City Boulevard to Edwards Air Force Base connection. That was on February 3rd. Members of Assemblymember Lackey's staff were there. City of California City staff was there. Kern County Public Works Director was there, and a member of his staff. Caltrans District 9 had several members. I believe also Congressman Obernolte had a member there, and Kern COG had 3 members there, including me. Very productive. We actually drove a dirt road that could potentially be paved to solve the issue of fatal accidents at Cal City Boulevard and 58. As a result of that meeting, we had a meeting this afternoon with Antelope Valley East Kern Water District, also known as AVAC. Again, Kern County Public Works Director attended that meeting, as well as Kern COG staff and the general manager and 2 of his staff members attended the meeting. Very productive, and the water agency is open to turning over a 2-mile by 45-foot swath of right-of-way to the county of Kern, which is great news, which would greatly facilitate getting that project delivered. So after almost 15, close to 20 years, maybe, working on that project, it looks like we're going to get a grant within the next month, and it's getting some real traction. I look forward to finishing that project. Also had meetings regarding the 2 missing connectors, 7th and the 8th movements at State Route 99 and 58. Continued discussions on 204 Union Avenue. Michael mentioned 7 Standard and 43. We continue to have discussions, and we're making good progress on that project. State Route 33, the shoulder improvements I've discussed before. State Route 46, the Kern County portion is wrapping up, but as Michael mentioned, there will be a small project right at the Kern San Luis Obispo County line. There will be a little bit of work in Kern County and a little bit of work in San Luis Obispo County. When I say a little bit, I mean about 500 or 600 meters on the Kern side and 600 or 700 meters on the other side. It's a very, very small project, but will make a big impact. And as a reminder, Kern COG is contributing. Actually, I think we're paying for everything but $1.25 million of that project to solve an issue right at the county line. Catherine, you mentioned the truck climbing lanes project meeting we had. I will echo what Councilman Smith said. Great job. You guys really hit the ball out of the park, and I look forward to the presentation at the May meeting. And I will mention, I've already had conversations with Ms. Para to my left about the possibility of using over-the-road buses to go between Tehachapi and Bakersfield during the length of the project. I learned that Golden Empire Transit has 4 over-the-road buses with internet available, and I don't see a problem in working with Caltrans and the COG and the county and get to make sure during construction, especially the peaks, that those buses will be free. Also held meetings on State Route 119 in the area around Pumpkin Center, Bakersfield West Beltway options, and I already covered the AVAC meeting. Subject to your questions, Mr. Chairman, and board members, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for the director? Seeing none, we'll adjourn that meeting and move to the Kern Council of Governments meeting. Same roll call. Public comments have the same rules. Are there any public comments for this meeting? Seeing none, any public comments on the consent agenda? Does any member wish to remove a consent agenda item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Solorio Ruiz.
Yes.
Phil Smith.
Yes.
Bob Smith.
Yes.
Reyna.
Yes.
Harlier.
Yes.
Nor.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Hawkins.
Yes.
Espinoza.
Yes.
Couch.
Yes.
Ione.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Executive Director's report.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman and board members. I made this announcement last month, but we have at least three new members here today that weren't here last month. Welcome to those new members. And I want to make a blanket offer that Kern COG offers a Kern COG 101 to get you familiar with all the acronyms and what we're talking about.
Well worth the time.
Thank you. And I highly recommend it. It's based on training that's prepared specifically for elected officials that serve on metropolitan planning organizations. And these organizations are all over the United States. There's about 400 of them. We can do that in person with you. You can do it online by yourself. We can come to your city council meeting and do it for a larger group. Let us know. If you want to search around our website, it's under the side menu, Who We Are. But if you're interested in some in-person training, let me know. And as a reminder, I did my Form 700 a few weeks ago. This is the earliest I've ever done mine. But as a reminder, you can submit the same form you submit to your city. You just have to make a few minor changes because the jurisdiction of Kern COG is county-wide, where the jurisdictions of the ones for your that you submit are likely different, except for the two supervisors. And in your folder this evening is a timeline covering March, April, and May. A full email chain. If you remember at last month's meeting, those of you that were here, a woman came and was expressing her concerns about cell phone service in the Kern River Canyon. The next day I contacted our liaison with the Public Utility Commission, thinking that they may have some jurisdiction over cell phone service. And I won't read the whole email to you, but they've figured out through their digging that they don't have jurisdiction over cell phone companies. They can't order them to put in towers to improve service in areas where there's no service. But they also did a little bit more research and verified that there were no towers that were damaged by fires. And I will add one more thing, and I'm sure many of you watched the Super Bowl. I did. I didn't watch the whole thing, but there was a commercial by T-Mobile, if you remember, that they're opening up satellite service to anyone free for the next few months. I looked into it, and I also discussed it with our representative who's on here, and you're welcome to contact directly. Her name is Heather, and it is true that if you have any cell phone provider and you can see the sky, you will have cell phone service, whether there's tower service or not. But after a few months, it will become a paid service. So that may be the solution that we're all looking for that roughly 14-mile gap. Might be for those people that travel that often to sign up for this satellite service. It's certainly a lot cheaper than having a separate satellite phone. And finally, in your packet tonight, a progress report for projects of regional significance. Subject to any of your questions, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for the director? Don't forget, March 6th is our regional award ceremony. And with, great. So we will move to closed session with that. Okay, we are back in open session, or I guess we'll close session. We have to officially, do we have any reportable actions?
Kern COG met in closed session, and there's no reportable action.
Thank you. So that closed session is adjourned, and we will now adjourn this session. Thank you.